It began, as these things often do, with something so minor it didn't register at first, a small distortion in the background, an imperfection in routine, the kind of detail your brain filters out unless it repeats itself too precisely. It was late, the kind of quiet only found after 2 a.m., when the apartment turns still and the air takes on that heavier silence, as if the building itself has gone dormant. He stood in front of the fridge, its door open just enough to wash the tiles in a dim, sterile light, head tilted slightly as he searched without hunger for something to justify being awake. And then he noticed it, the tick. Not loud. Not aggressive. But there. The kitchen clock, a round, white-faced thing above the sink, normally so soft as to be unnoticed, now sounded distinct, sharper, more defined. He looked up. It was ticking normally. But louder. Only when the fridge door was open. He closed the door. The ticking vanished into the silence. He stood still for a moment, milk in hand, listening. Nothing. Just the faint hum of the refrigerator and the low moan of wind against the window. He opened the door again, slowly this time, watching the clock. And again, tick. 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 Not frantic, not wrong. Just louder. He leaned in. Closed the door. Silence. Open. Tick. 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 He told himself it was the change in acoustics, the low drone of the compressor, the shift in airflow, something subtle that amplified sound in a way he hadn't noticed before. He tested it. Opened and closed the door several times in a row. The pattern held. Door open, ticking. Door closed, silence. It became a curiosity. A trick of sound. He mentioned it once in passing to a friend over coffee, a weird little quirk of his kitchen. The friend shrugged. Old clocks do that. Or maybe the fridge hum cancels it. But that didn't explain the clarity of it, the precision. Over the next few nights, the ticking grew bolder, not in volume, but in presence. It began to feel directional, like it wasn't coming from above the sink anymore, but from within the space between the open door and his body, like the air itself had learned to resonate differently the moment cold light hit tile. He tested it at different times, 10 p.m., 11, midnight, nothing. The ticking remained normal. Only between 2 and 3 a.m. did the anomaly return, and only when the fridge was open. He changed the batteries in the clock. Replaced it entirely. Even removed it one night and left the wall bare. Still, when he opened the fridge after 2 a.m., the ticking resumed, same pace, same tone, now without a visible source. That was the moment he stopped telling himself it was mechanical. He started filming. Set up a phone on a tripod. Opened the fridge, waited. The ticking came. He couldn't hear it on the playback. Just the low white noise of a night kitchen, his own quiet breathing, the faint whir of the fridge fan. He played the clip 3 times. No ticking. But he had heard it. Felt it in his chest. It was as if the sound existed only within the room, never transferring through devices or recordings, a localized phenomenon, trapped in real time. Eventually, he stopped trying to understand it. Accepted it. Began working around it. He avoided the fridge past midnight. Set reminders to grab everything he needed before bed. But inevitably, a night would come where hunger or habit or boredom pulled him from sleep, and he would find himself back in front of the glowing door, staring blankly into shelves he'd already memorized, and behind that hum of cool air, always, that ticking. Then something changed. One night, as he stood again before the fridge, the ticking slowed. Just slightly. Still rhythmic, still clean, but now with a delay, as if the clock, wherever it was, had become aware of him standing there, had begun adjusting its breath to match his hesitation. He held the door open longer than usual, just to test it. The ticking matched him. When he leaned forward, it softened. When he stepped back, it resumed at full tone. He checked his watch. Its second hand ticked normally. Not in sync. He checked the oven clock. Digital. Unchanging. But the sound in the room pulsed now, not from a single point, but from everywhere, like the walls themselves had begun ticking in chorus with the space between seconds. And that's when he realized the sound wasn't measuring time. It was measuring him. He began sleeping less, not because of the ticking, that came only when the fridge door opened, but because the silence between now carried weight, like a stretched membrane through which sound could leak at any moment, uninvited and sharp, and though he tried to ignore it, each night brought a new detail, another layer of unease that didn't scream, didn't shift the furniture or flicker the lights, but instead moved in careful increments, creeping quietly into the patterns he once trusted. The ticking did not grow louder, nor did it distort, it simply persisted, as though obeying a law older than the clock itself, one that required acknowledgement, demanded attention, and fed on ritual.